Okay, my name is Lisa. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here today with an online class. We're also going to play around with a new stamp set, which is from the new January to June mini catalog. And if you are one of my customers and you have placed an order within the last year, then you're already on my list. I've got a catalog on its way to you, along with a celebration brochure, because being January, we of course have celebration going on. So new catalog, new brochure. You really want one. They are super cute. I had a ton of flags in there, and tomorrow we get to order as demonstrators. We get to place pre-orders a month before everybody else. And so I will have new product in my hand very shortly, and I'm super excited about that, as if you can't tell, right? For this new stamp set, I'm going to play around with the Dragonfly Garden. And this is a new bundle coming out in the January to June mini catalog. And it has these adorable little dragonflies in them, but the bonus is that they have a punch. And so this bundle will come with the double punch of the dragonflies and then the stamp set as well. And then they have some designer series paper that goes with it. And there's actually, I think, another stamp set. I think they're making an entire suite out of it. But you have this really pretty designer series paper. Some bumblebees. So I'm going to go ahead and pick some paper out of here. Let's go with the same one. And because I wanted the designer series paper to be the same on the inside as the outside, I actually used two pieces so that they could both go this direction. So we're going to go 5 1/4 by 4. And see, normally I would be able to use this strip for another card easily. And I suppose I could go that way. That might still be pretty. But like I said, I wanted to stick with that. So I came in and cut one at 2 inches. And then I have this piece, which is 2 1/4 by 4. You can see it kind of lines up. And then I'm going to put this all on a very vanilla card base. So here I have thick, very vanilla cardstock, 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. That's our standard card base, as we were talking about before. And I've scored it. This is the mountain. I'm going to turn that into a valley. So if you're ever wondering how they suggest that you fold the cardstock, you turn a mountain into a valley. And then I'm going to start out with this, which is this right here, our little sprig of flowers. And that's going to fit nicely on an I block, which is bigger than the one I normally use. I use this one quite a bit. This is an H, but I'm using the I because this is a big stack of flowers. Mossy Meadow. And we've got various sentiments in here. I'm going to use something different this time. I do want to know where this is going to go on. So let's put this on so that when I go to put my greeting, I'm not covering anything up. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take our label punch and I'm going to feed it into the middle and punch. And I'm doing that because I kind of want to know where the middle of this is going to be. So I'm just centering it over that. And then I can come in from the back side and line it up and punch it out. Now, I suppose I could have put it on there and guessed, but I found that punching it first and then centering this over it I felt made me more accurate. And again, I cut things a little bit long instead of a little bit too short so that I can trim off from the back side. And there's the front of our card. Oops, there's our sentiment. So what do you think? You like it on the top or the bottom? This one says, thank you for your kindness. This says, for a true friend. And then I'm going to put this one in here, covering the whole inside. And some of you may be panicking and wondering where I'm going to put the other, sentiment or write my note. And we can always do that up here. I know we always tend to put it down here, but that's not a hard and fast rule, right? I wanted the dragonfly to be sitting on our flowers on the inside. So I made this all flowers, and then I'm going to put my other stuff up here. On this one, I colored it in with a little bit of the Stampin' Blends. And I think they could be done with dual colors, with the light and the dark. For the sake of speed today, I'm only using the one. So this is the Dark Daffodil Delight. And I chose just to add a little bit of color to the flowers. I'm not going to go back in and do the leaves. And I could have left it alone as is and left it all just stamped, but I wanted a little bit of a pop of color. Now we're ready for the dragonfly. Now I stamped this onto a regular just scrap of Whisper White and then punched it out with our punch. And there are two in here. One has kind of a solid body and one has a light one. And then this stamp here is made to color in the wings if you wanted. And there is only one, and that's because you can rotate it and do this side and then turn it 180 degrees and do the other side. And it doesn't fit exactly. It's one of those artistic things where it's putting a splash of color in there, but it doesn't fit exactly into there. So don't panic if you feel you didn't line it up right, because it's not meant to be lined up right. I'm coming in with Blackberry Bliss, and I chose that because it was in this paper. This is my 6x6 stack, and it's a 6-inch by 12-inch that I scalloped an end with our envelope punch board, put a label, and then I take the label off of the designer series paper and I stick it to the front. And so this is Dandy Garden is the name of our paper, and it has Basic Black, Blackberry Bliss, Bumblebee, Calypso Coral, Misty Moonlight, Mossy Meadow, and Whisper White. So that's why I'm adding Blackberry Bliss. I know some of you may have been a little confused. And then I came in right away with the Wink of Stella. And I think when I first used it, my ink wasn't even quite dry yet, because when I went over it, it turned kind of purplish, which I liked. So if you want yours to stay clear as the Wink of Stella is intended, then you might want to wait a little while for the ink to dry. Because it is so dark, it easily blended into a really pretty sheer purple. And you can also do this if you intended and you just wanted to do Wink of Stella in a color. I know they make them in a color, but it's not really necessary, because all you have to do is put one little drop or half of a drop onto a block or something, and then pick up your ink refill using the clear, and then you'll be painting in Wink of Stella in that color, and you can change the shade of it based on how much ink you add. And so here's our punch. I'm going to line it in from the back so I can see exactly where I'm punching. It's going to give me a little bonus. And then, because I want to use this as the closure, I'm going to fold it on the edge of the body, not too close, but close enough that it's going to be able to fit right down inside here. And I'm going to take a little bit of liquid glue, and just a little bit, because there's not very much cardstock here. You don't want it to ooze out from underneath. And if you find if you do put too much on there, then kind of spread it around with a little scrap of cardstock, or this is a Post-it note, just something to make sure that you're not making an ooze kind of mess. And then I'm just centering that in here. And there we go. And so what it does is this kind of holds our card closed, and then you can pinch the wings together and it opens. So how pretty is that? So that matches this one. I've also done this one to show that it can be done with the fold the other direction. And then if you, like I said, if you didn't like the fact that this had nowhere to write a message, you know, or if you had to write your message up here and you didn't like that, you can stick a little piece of cardstock in here. I believe this is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then you could have your inside sentiment and any note written there. But it was the same idea, only I used 2 pieces that were 4 inch by 5 1/4, one on the inside, one on the outside. And I don't know if you can tell really, but they line up because I used 2 pieces and cut on the same sides. And so the inside exactly matches the outside. So again, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed today's cards and that you find the folds useful. You can make it exactly as I've shown it, but that's not necessary. I mean, like once you figure out a fold and the size of the cuts, you can change this into a birthday card, a thank you card, you know, the list is endless. And again, I want to thank you for joining me, and I will see you back here on Monday at 2:30. Also, I'm going to do coffee and cards this Thursday, and I'm going to have a bonus if you're local and you want to swing by and pick up a little packet. And I'm going to make a little packet. So if you want me to mail you one or you want to swing by and pick one up, you can make the same card I'm making for coffee and cards on Thursday mornings. And I'm going to make one packet that's going to be all 5 cards for December. And if you don't make the coffee and cards, then shoot me an email. I'll shoot you pictures, but I hope you can join me. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you next Monday here at 2:30 if I don't see you Thursday for coffee and cards. Thanks. Bye.